Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the Niko Show. Today I am bringing you a review of the game Rocket League. So the game is conceptually pretty simple. It's basically a game of soccer, but instead of controlling players, you're actually controlling rocket-propelled cars. So you might hear that and say, you know what, I'm not really a fan of racing games, I'm not a fan of soccer, this game might not be for me, and you might tune out. But let me tell you that is my exact reaction that I had when I first heard about this game. And I've played the game now for over 400 hours. So the game is really good. And basically the first thing I'll start with is the concept and the gameplay. Easily I give this game 10 out of 10 as far as gameplay and concept. The reason I say that, and this might be something that's more of a personal preference, but the kind of games that I think are the best are the games that have the simplest concepts that anybody can play, but that also have a very high skill cap and a skill ceiling, is if you want to call it that. And what that means is basically the game itself is very simple. You're just driving around a car and you're running into a ball. Pretty much anybody can do that. So if you and your friends play together and you're new to the game, you're all going to be around the same skill level, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and you guys are going to be able to like grow and get better together. That being said, the game evolves as you get better, largely because you're able to do things that are much harder to do in concept. So you're able to see things, have you been noticing what they call aerials, and you're able to jump with your car and then point yourself like a rocket and essentially make yourself go flying up into the air. And in the beginning it's really tough to do. You might only start by flipping around with your car and using your boost while you're on the ground. It's the most like simple concept. But then once you've learned to actually propel yourself and aim yourself and launch through the air, it really opens up the game to a whole new level. So I really love games that have those kind of gameplay mechanics, and it's just a raw, fun game to play. So I'm going to go into, basically, that also ties directly into replay value. Replay value to me is a really important feature in a game as well. And even though this game is very simple in its nature, it's got a ton of replay value just on that fun factor and the skill level alone. So I think the gameplay and replay value are definitely the strengths of the game. If you're someone who generally likes skill-based games, you find yourself like being competitive, you'll definitely like it in that sense. But even if you're just someone who wants a game that's just kind of fun to play, that they can get together with their friends, the game is pretty cheap. I think it's only like 15 bucks. It could be like 25 now on Steam, I'm not sure. But in general, it's really not that expensive to get into, and pretty much anybody can play it. So that's definitely one of the strong points. I'm going to give it a replay value of 10, and I'm going to give it a gameplay rating of 10 as well. So that was the game itself. Let's talk about all of the aesthetics and the extras that the game has too. So you'll see here that in your extras section you have a couple different things. You have replays. The nice thing about this is you're able to save replays without actually locally recording. So it doesn't affect your gameplay. It's just a saved file. So I always really like games that do that. It's great for content creators, and it's great for just normal users who don't want to have a beefy computer and still want to record what they do. The other cool thing too is it keeps track of all your stats. So if you're someone who is about self-improvement, or you just want to see how you're doing, there are a ton of different options here, and a bunch of different stats that it keeps track of, which is really cool. There's also like a leaderboard, so you're able to see how you stack up against like the best players in the world, as well as how you stack up with some of your friends, or maybe just people who are playing on Steam. Which I think is really cool. I always love games that give you that option. And then there's even a competitive mode. So you can see here there are different rankings and different tiers to the systems, and it gives you a reason to play a little more competitively. It also has like the car customization as well. So if you're someone who plays a lot of MMOs and you're used to being able to make your character and yourself unique, this game will definitely be something you enjoy. There are tons of different cars. You can unlock new skins as you play, and there are crates that you can use, and you can buy them and get different skins. So as far as the features are concerned, I'm going to give it a 9.5. It pretty much does everything you would hope it would do. It has a ranked system. It has the car customization, and they've been adding to this stuff very, very frequently, and it's extremely good to see a company not really nickel and dime you for everything that you're worth. It gives you the option to spend money on the game if you'd like, but there's nothing that you absolutely need at all, honestly, that affects your gameplay. if you don't want to spend any extra money on the game. And all the features do work. The reason I'm giving it not a 10 would be I don't really feel like the ranking system is functioning properly as is. It kind of favors more playtime than it does skill, and I'm not really a big fan of that. I would like it if they balanced it a little more to be skill based. But everywhere else, it pretty much does everything perfectly, so I can't really give it too much of a negative rating there. So then, yeah, I guess the next thing I would have to rate it on would be the graphics. So I guess if I had to split this into two categories, I'd say the functionality of the graphics is a 10 out of 10. There's no issues with them at all. It gives you plenty of options as far as what you can turn on, turn off, max frame rates, things like that. So the functionality of the graphics, I'd give it a 10. The overall graphics, I would say, are about an 8.5. They're not going to blow you away. It's not a AAA Battlefield 1 title or anything like that, but they're functional, and it looks pretty good. The lighting is still definitely, up to date and stuff like that, but the textures and in general, it's not going to blow you away graphically. So yeah, my overall grade for Rocket League is going to be a 9.5. It's got a ton of replay value. The fun factor is definitely there. The game functions. They've been providing free DLC from the get-go. They have a bunch of different game modes now, from basketball to hockey, all kinds of stuff, and they've been adding all that for free. The game is fun. It's not expensive to get into. And really the only downsides to the game are things that honestly I believe they can fix. You have a couple issues with the ranking system. And I guess the biggest thing keeping it from being a 10 would just be it's not the most insane graphics you've ever seen. But if the graphics aren't extremely important to you, which they're not to me, it doesn't stop it from being a fantastic game. I definitely give it a 9.5. So if you haven't tried Rocket League, I would definitely give it a shot. Even if you're not a huge fan of soccer games, not a huge fan of racing games, this one's definitely unique, and you should definitely give it a shot. So thanks for checking out the Niko Show. Hit the sub button if you want to see more content like this. I'm going to be doing game reviews as much as I possibly can. Take it easy, guys. Peace.